don't just want the news, they want the truth. What others hide, I bring to you with evidence. Politics, corruption, human rights. No filters, no fear, just facts. I don't stop until the system shakes. Hello and welcome. This is Makhdoom Shahabuddin and you're watching Trending Daily. Ladies and gentlemen, today the world turns its attention once again to Islamabad as the capital prepares to host the second round of high-level peace talks. This moment is not just another diplomatic event, but a continuation of a process that carries the hopes of multiple regions seeking stability, dialogue, and a pathway away from tension. Islamabad tapping into this role for the second time highlights its growing position as a serious venue for international engagement and conflict resolution. In recent years, the city has increasingly been seen as a bridge between regions where dialogue often breaks down. Hosting these talks again signals continuity, trust, and confidence from participating stakeholders who view Islamabad as a balanced and constructive environment for sensitive negotiations. Across the international landscape, analysts and observers are closely watching the developments. The second round of peace talks carries more weight than the first because it is where initial discussions are tested and transformed into actionable frameworks. Expectations are high that this round will move beyond general statements and begin addressing core issues that remain unresolved. Islamabad finds itself at the center of this global attention. The city is not only hosting delegations but also shaping perceptions of how dialogue can be structured in a complex geopolitical environment. This responsibility places Pakistan in a significant diplomatic position where every meeting, statement, and outcome is carefully observed by international media and policy institutions. The diplomatic environment in Islamabad has been described as calm, structured, and purpose-driven. Security arrangements are in place to ensure uninterrupted discussions, while diplomatic channels remain active behind the scenes to support communication between delegations. Government institutions have emphasized facilitation and neutrality, ensuring that all parties feel equally represented within the negotiation space. This approach has contributed to building confidence among participating sides and has allowed the dialogue process to continue without major disruptions. Pakistan's foreign policy approach in this context is centered on engagement and stability. The decision to host peace talks for a second time reflects a consistent policy direction that prioritizes dialogue over escalation. This strategy is aligned with broader regional objectives that seek economic cooperation, reduce tensions, and improve diplomatic relations. Officials have highlighted that Pakistan's role is not to impose outcomes, but to provide a platform where meaningful discussions can take place. This distinction is important because it positions Islamabad as a facilitator rather than a participant in the disputes being discussed. Expectations from the second round of talks is expected to focus on deeper issues that were identified during initial discussions. These may include security concerns, humanitarian considerations, regional cooperation frameworks, and long-term stability mechanisms. Diplomatic experts suggest that this round will determine the pace of future engagement. If progress is achieved, it could lead to structured agreements or roadmaps for continued dialogue. If challenges remain unresolved, it will still provide clarity on positions and help refine future negotiation strategies. The international community has shown strong interest in the proceedings. Several global observers view Islamabad hosting the talks again as a positive sign of diplomatic continuity in a region often affected by instability. Media coverage across different regions highlights the importance of dialogue in preventing escalation. Think tanks and policy analysts are closely monitoring the situation, evaluating how outcomes from Islamabad could influence broader geopolitical dynamics. Security arrangements in Islamabad have been enhanced to ensure smooth conduct of the talks. Key diplomatic zones are under strict monitoring, while movement of delegations is being managed with coordination between relevant institutions. At the same time, logistical preparations have been designed to maintain comfort and confidentiality for all the participating groups. This includes secure meeting venues, controlled access areas, and dedicated communication channels for official use. Islamabad hosting the second round of peace talks carries symbolic weight. It reflects the city emerging as a space where dialogue is possible even in times of global uncertainty. This symbolism strengthens Pakistan's image as a country willing to invest in diplomatic processes rather than isolation. The repeated selection of Islamabad also suggests trust in its institutional capacity to manage complex discussions. Such trust is built over time through consistent diplomatic engagement and responsible hosting of international events. Despite optimism, challenges remain significant. Peace talks of this scale often involve deeply rooted issues that cannot be resolved quickly. Differences in perspective, historical grievances, and strategic concerns all contribute to the complexity of negotiations. However, the continuation into a second round indicates that dialogue channels remain open. This alone is considered an important achievement in international diplomacy, where breakdowns in communication are common. Public interest in Islamabad hosting the talks is steadily increasing. Media outlets are providing continuous coverage, analyzing each development and statement emerging from the discussions. This attention reflects the broader significance of the talks beyond diplomatic circles. Social and political observers are also discussing the potential outcomes of their impact on regional stability. The narrative is largely centered on hopes for progress and the importance of sustained engagement. Pakistan's positioning in this process reflects a broader shift toward proactive diplomacy. By hosting such high-level engagements, the country is signaling its readiness to contribute constructively to regional and global peace efforts. This approach enhances Pakistan's diplomatic profile and reinforces its relevance in international forums where conflict resolution and cooperation are key priorities. Looking forward, as the second round of peace talks continue in Islamabad, the world remains attentive to every development. The outcomes may not be immediate, but the process itself represents an important step towards sustained dialogue. Islamabad's role in hosting these discussions once again underscores the importance of neutral platforms in global diplomacy. It demonstrates how structured engagement can create opportunities even in complex environments. The second round of peace talks in Islamabad is more than a diplomatic gathering. It is a reflection of evolving international relations where dialogue is increasingly seen as the most effective path towards stability. With global eyes fixed on the capital, Pakistan continues to position itself as a facilitator of peace and a supporter of constructive engagement in a changing world. This is Makhdoom Shahabuddin. You were watching Trending Daily. See you in the next episode.